Fleet foxes, dancing doggies, and bowling Bowsers. Come and listen to our tale. It's a furry one. Fanboy Confessional. The Furry Edition. There is no other fandom as stigmatized or misunderstood as furry fandom. That's why it's also the most secretive. So we found an expert to help us sneak inside the world of furry.
They wear cartoonish costumes of plush and felt. They have their own camps, conventions, bands, and clubs. They have raves and dances and charity auctions. They pretend to be two-legged spacefaring wolfmen. They ogle girls in cat ears. They scritch, they fluff, they cuddle, and sometimes they even yiff. They are furries. Individuals who describe themselves as furry run the gamut from people who fervently believe they have the soul of a cat, to casual fans of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, to everything in between, often in a wonderful, chaotic combination that can also be terrifying. But here in Piat's Fortress, we are all about shoving intangibles into a killing jar, labeling them, and pinning them to the cork board of mutual edification. And it must be admitted that I am perhaps unusually well equipped for this task, because you see, I too am a furry.
Writer and video blogger Piat is indeed one of them, and he's agreed to guide us into the furry heart of this often misunderstood fandom.
As a young age, I really liked Narnia and Watership Down and Wind in the Willows. I used to sort of imagine myself as like one of the characters in Wind in the Willows. It's an impulse that's not only shared by most other furries, but it's shared, I think, by a lot of people in society at large. History is full of characters who combine animal and human characteristics, and tales of people transforming into animals, animals transforming into people.
The stories of sentient moles and badgers are not just for kids anymore. Animalistic aliens have long been a science fiction staple. And fandom was quick to follow, with two main forks in the furry road. Furry fanboys like Piat are dedicated to enjoying and producing anthropomorphic artwork, RPGs, and fiction. Furry lifestylers are fun seekers whose purpose in furrydom is more centered around socializing than in the artwork, and whose behavior is more noticeably furry, including wearing ears and tails or full costumes. Mallory is a bit of both. She surrounds herself with cuddly plushies and enjoys dressing up as Kitty, a 6-foot-tall pink fox. She's also part of a highly esteemed class of furry because she is a fursuiter, one with the skills and talents to create elaborate costumes for herself, her friends, and on commission for furry fans around the world, all from the peace and quiet of her home studio. For other furries, community building is the main attraction. Ryan discovered furrydom through Second Life in 2004 and was soon traveling to conventions and organizing fur activities. Casual fur meets, group barbecues or furbecues, and ski meets for charity. He's part of an active and vital community of furry lifestylers in London, Ontario.
Liquid nitrogen is fun.
We do a potluck every once in a while. We try to do them once every month and a half-ish. It's a creative community. People like to run with ideas, and Tyler likes to make crazy things. What's that going in there? What is that?
It is candied bacon.
Candied bacon, yes. You have basically instant ice cream. What would have taken 2 hours of churning has been made pretty much instantly.
Would you like to try some?
Candied bacon bits can lead to harder stuff, like putting on a fursuit and hitting the bowling lanes.
I woke up this morning with the sun down, shining in.
Up to roll next is Ryan as his fursona, Frost Scar, an Arctic fox furry.
It's fun, it's bouncy, it's bubbly. You have to keep moving, because if you stand still, you realize that you're wearing a fur coat indoors, and you can't. You gotta keep the energy up and stay hydrated. It's way more fun than bowling regularly. I do much better in suit, actually.
I am not the pretty princess.
Yeah, you are.
But I don't want to be the pretty princess.
Yeah, you are.
Here's the pretty princess.
So why not keep cool in a polyester bowling shirt? Why go out in public in a big hot furry suit? For Mallory, it's about the attention and the interaction. She sometimes goes out in public as her character Kitty.
It's nervous the first time you do it for sure, but then you get used to it, and I mean, that's why I keep doing it. All the positives far outweigh the negatives of it every time I go out in public. It was a lot of attention that I wasn't expecting initially, but now, I mean, you go out wearing a huge costume, everybody wants to be beside you, have their picture taken with you, shake your hand or your paw. So now I anticipate it and relish it.
Not everyone loves the feel of fur. In some circles, there's been a backlash against furries, even from other fandoms.
Anime fans and furry fans don't get along, even though some of them might be both. They tend to have a prejudice against each other because I think it's because each culture has a different convention. So when I used to go to furry cons, I used to get the anime freak if I wore like an anime t-shirt. And it's the same thing here. Like a lot of people will snub them. So that is probably why you don't see many furries. They might be furry, but they're not in fursuit.
The one place furries can roam free and happy together is at a furry con. That's why Ryan and his friends have spent the last year planning something big. They're hoping to put themselves on the international furry map as they mount their first fur convention. Putting on a con is a much bigger challenge than planning a furbarbecue or a bowling excursion. Are they up to it? They've asked Mallory to help out and create a mascot for the con, so she's racing to get it done in time. A sneak peek behind the furry mask when Fanboy Confessional returns. While there are some furries who profess to be animals trapped inside human bodies, Mallory has no such illusions. But if there were an animal trapped anywhere, she'd be the first to set it free. She's made them her life's work as a trainer and nutrition expert at a national pet store outlet. And she's made them her life's passion as an artist, fursuit designer, and builder, and as a member of a supportive community where she can dress in her fursona as Kitty.
So this is my character, version 1. She's a pink fox husky cross. And this is my sister's character, which is purple husky fox cross. And this is my character, version 3. She's also got the follow me eyes. Now you need that depth in order to get that effect. So wherever she is looking, doesn't matter who's standing in the room, she's staring at every single different person.
In this simple basement studio, Mallory builds fursuits for clients around the world. The commissions come mainly through her website, and they come from everywhere.
He's a commission, so this is a gentleman's character in Illinois. The character's name is Nux the Fox. This guy's going to a gentleman in Malaysia. The character's name is CT Wolf. This was a character that he came up with. He sent me the description for, as well as several reference images, and I just copied everything to a T. There's been several others that I've shipped overseas, a skunk that went to Holland, other places in Europe. It's very expensive. A lot of people don't quite realize how much, like a fursuit costs $1,000, but that's just not $1,000 of my time. That's materials and everything else. And the amount of fur you need for, say, a full suit, you're looking at about $450 goes to just materials. So I'm not really making that much of a profit off anything.
It can take more than 100 hours to build a fursuit, so Mallory's not going to get rich anytime soon. And now she's doing a volunteer job for the upcoming Condition Zero Hour Furry Convention. She's building the mascot, Polarski.
I've always wanted to make a polar bear. That's essentially what this guy will be. So you can kind of see the under foam work. This is what you would call the musculature. So he's got a lot of work, but in the end, he will be a polar bear. A lot of my sewing habits and technique I actually learned from my grandmother. So she taught me a lot. I used to sew all my Halloween costumes with her when I was little. Looking back in many, many years, all of them, I was some sort of animal. And even after explaining everything to my family, my mother looked back at me in my childhood, and she looked at me, and she said, "You know what? I saw it coming." I've always loved to dress up. I've always enjoyed making costumes. I actually made the mascot for my high school, so Billy the Bulldog for Brock High School. They still use him, and I get calls every now and then to go in and do repairs, and I do. A lot of people choose their character based on animals that they love and colors that they enjoy. Hence why my character is pink, because I absolutely love pink. And then I chose a husky fox because I love the look of husky tails, the big curly tail over their back. It's very cute, but I like the sultry and yet cuteness of a fox, and the mentality of a fox too. So that's essentially why I chose my character. I am an adult. I can hold down this career as well as being a trainer. I have a social life and everything else, but at heart, I'm a big kid. I have stuffed animals on my bed. I love watching animated cutesy-pooey Disney movies. Anything with a talking animal in it, I'm there to watch.
Thanks to the internet and TV, Mallory discovered there were others out there like her.
They're everywhere. A lot of people. There's a lot more furries out there than people think.
There's a few hundred of them waiting for Mallory and her new pal Pilarski at Condition Zero. It's furries only, but you are on the guest list. Next on Fanboy Confession. It's day one of Condition Zero, the very first FurryCon put on by Ryan and his London furry friends. It's being held in the function rooms of a hotel on the edge of town. A blank slate to be transformed into an oasis of anthro fandom.
You gotta walk slower, guys.
Mallory has traveled a long way to be here. She's anxious to see old friends and to make new ones. And she's brought along a new furry friend. It's Pilarski. He's about to make his first appearance as the Condition Zero mascot, and he's looking really cool.
Let's go terrorize people in the lobby.
So what's different about a FurryCon? Most fan cons tend to be places to simply go and consume the culture.
Bring bags to conventions. It's a good idea.
FurryCons tend to be about opportunities for furry FaceTime. Furry blogger Piet says it's all about the people.
I go to them largely just for the social occasion. I really enjoy being in convention space. Simply being surrounded by people who are sort of unabashedly enthusiastic and unironic in their appreciation of what it is they're doing. Because these are people who often only see each other at these conventions. They could be friends for 20 years, but they see each other 3 days a year.
It's not just individual friends, it's entire communities that have gathered here. Like Potaroo and his gang who are about to hijack the Grand Furry Parade.
We're gonna do a democratic parade. Oh, here it comes, here it comes.
Going down this hallway?
Pony, take Frostgar out!
For freedom!
This is for freedom, follow me! Feral Extremists Parade!
It's also a chance for them to promote their annual furry resort, Camp Feral. A con is often a place to test fanboy knowledge, but when furries convene, it's all about skillful moves, like standing upright. Let the furry games begin.
You never know what the guys that are organizing the games are going to do to you, because they're usually fursuiters too. And I think it's a kind of a torture. When you're in a suit, your field of view is limited to about a percentage of what it normally is. You can't even see that chair.
It's like this, and you've got a bar in the middle. So it's like looking through binoculars made of toilet paper tubes. That's exactly what it's like.
Okay, go!
It makes seemingly easy tasks become impossible once you put one of these on.
Yeah.
Massive quantities of foam over each finger, and you know, vision looking through little tiny dime holes.
What could be more fun than a fur pile? Or more innocent? Well, there is another side to the furry image that fur fans are unhappy about. This furry is one of the guests of honor, and he was happy to talk to us, but only in his fursuit.
I mean, heck, there are people that'll be mad at me for having this interview. I guarantee it.
Really?
Oh yeah. The press is considered to be a horrific evil.
Blame it on CSI. Thanks to an episode called Fur and Loathing in Las Vegas, many furries won't get fooled again.
Whoa, Nelly!
They feel the episode left viewers with a false impression about furry fandom.
CSI just completely up everything, and it just completely misconstrued everything about furries.
Furry fact or fiction. They're all sex-crazed maniacs that like to do it in animal costumes.
The idea that it was all just about people dressing up in costumes and having sex with each other, which is quite clearly not true, because, I mean, most furries actually don't have fursuits, and a lot of them are virgins, but maybe I shouldn't say it.
This rumor that furry cons are an excuse for costume orgies and yiffing has made many furries camera shy. Very few media portrayals of furry fandom have been accurate or sympathetic.
They've been burned by a lot of stuff like, oh my God, it's about porn, it's about these people that are having sex in these suits and they're dressing up and that's all they're doing, which is, I'm sure somebody has, but in a convention, we're running 10 to 20% of people actually have a suit.
I mean, it doesn't happen. It's not practical. These outfits cost thousands and thousands of dollars. Why would you want to risk damaging it? It boggles my mind. We're not all sex fiends like that episode made it out to be.
And it is undeniably a highly sexualized fandom in some regards. And there is occasionally perception on the part of people who assume that that's all it's about. So there was a backlash against them on the internet.
There's many people who I've seen from high school who didn't quite understand me and now realize I'm a furry, and few of them have stopped talking to me and won't contact me at all, which is kind of sad that people can be that shallow. But a lot of them have been absolutely enthralled that I'm doing this and are happy for me, which is essentially what I want.
While there may be no actual yiffing in the hallways, some artwork, costumes, and furry fiction are explicitly erotic. It's this juxtaposition between family-friendly furry characters and X-rated anthro fantasy that leads to discomfort and confusion. And to add even more, there's furry cross-dressing.
Maybe 5% are femme costumes that are played by female humans. A lot of them, almost all of them, are men who portray a female character.
Femme fur costumes often have exaggerated assets, like the Buxotic Roxacat, created by artist and fursuiter John Barrett.
Roxy's always been kind of a joke in the fandom because she's been this character with these huge bazongas that you couldn't possibly take seriously. And I kind of liked that because I felt more in control of how I looked. And over the years, there's been a running gag like, and here's Roxy Cat, who's getting bigger every year. And it's been fun to play with that. I mean, I personally think there's nothing funnier than sex. I want to make it in a lighthearted way, or draw something in a sensual, sexy kind of way.
I think we're all sort of acting out of what is normal in society.
Normal is a setting on a washer. Normal isn't life, okay?
And it doesn't always get the dirt out.
Exactly.
Furry fact or fiction. They're all gay sex-crazed maniacs that like to do it in animal costumes. 26% did identify as gay in a 2007 University of California furry survey. 33% said they were straight, 37% said they were bisexual, and 8% marked down other. That survey revealed that only 18% of furries actually own a fursuit. For the rest, it may be enough to sport cat ears or a stuffed doll on a rope. But the favorite fur flag to fly is the tail, a fashion appendage for any occasion.
I just wear the tail. I've had this since about '98, and that's all I go for. Figure I'm pretty much a fursuit myself, so I don't really need one.
I used to wear my tail all the time, just because it was fun, something different.
I wouldn't wear a tail and ears all the time. It is fun, but there's a time and place for everything.
After a few days, when you take it off, you think you're still wearing it. Just you got the phantom tail feeling, because you got the weight on you all the time. No, I guess if it was a social norm, I probably would. I like my tail, it's fluffy.
some reason, when you're dancing, having a tail just makes it that much more fun, and you feel less like an idiot somehow than if you're out there not doing it without a tail. I refuse to go dancing out of suit right now. I was a shy kid in high school. I never quite fit in anywhere. But if I dress up, everybody likes me. Everybody loves me. Everybody wants to hug me and, you know, be near me and everything.
Well, it is very therapeutic because for a lot of people there's an essential innocence to the characters, contrary to what's portrayed in things like, you know, the infamous CSI episode. They're wearing these costumes as a way of acting like, you know, a carefree kid, sort of, and playing for a weekend with other people who are dressed up.
I mean, there's parts of the furry fandom where people either, one, believe that they're reincarnated from animal and thus have to portray it now, and others, like me, I just like to dress up. And then I found the fandom, and everybody is so welcoming and so friendly. Everyone is passionate for animals just as much as I am, so I just found a place where I fit. Very good.
Whether you wear your art on your sleeve or cover your whole body with it, furry fandom, like other fanboy pursuits, is about healthy immersion into a world of your own design. An escape that you alone control.
It's wearable artwork. That's what it is. Expensive wearable artwork that you have to clean and wash and take care of.
Where did that come from? That's totally random.
My name is Enzo, and I'm a fanboy.
My name is Peter Van Heel, and I am a fanboy.
I'm Rowan Springflower.
And I'm Al Kane. And we're Furry Fanboys.
My name's John Barrett, and I'm a fanboy. He's old. We love him.